Hey guys, it's Jeremy again, and today I will be doing a tag video, and I have not done one of these in such a long time. I can't even tell you how long it has been since I've done a tag video, but it's been a while. I think almost a year, and today I will be doing the Twilight Tag. I have no clue who created this tag. I think this is one of those, it just started out as like, a question here and there and just kind of molded into a tag by the whole community of BookTube. So I have a list of questions here, and there's 12 questions, so this sounds really fun. And since I'm a huge fan of the series, I had no clue this tag existed until about a few hours ago. So let's get in with this, because I think this is going to be really, really fun. Number one, what movie and book is your favorite? Um, my favorite book is Eclipse. This has always been my favorite book. Um, I've only read it once, but I really, really connected to this one. I feel like by the time we got to this one, we as the readers just knew the characters so well. And this was also Stephanie. Stephanie said this was the most fun to write because she knew the characters so well, and just everything that happened. This is where the kind of love triangle really kind of comes full circle, and I just absolutely loved it. And without further ado, and then the favorite movie is also Eclipse as well. This was a really hard decision just because I love all five movies, but this one was the one where it brought so many elements of the book that I loved, and and Rob and Kristen and Taylor did a great job with this one, because this was the one I was genuinely scared of because it was being directed by David Slade, who is a very dark director. He directs a lot of horror and suspense things, so I thought this was going to turn into more of a horror movie, but I was really, really excited to see that it still captured a lot of the romantic aspects as well as a lot of the hard struggles that all the characters face. So Eclipse is my favorite movie. And Eclipse is also my favorite book too. Number two, what has your experience been like with Twilight? I think my personal experience has been amazing. I never really got to go into any midnight release parties or anything like that. I did get to go see Eclipse Breaking Dawn Parts 1 and 2 at the midnight showings. I got to go with a whole group of friends, family. It was a wonderful experience to being able to go to those premieres with my friends and just being able to experience this phenomenon. From I think this goes not just with this franchise and book series, but with Harry Potter and Hunger Games and Divergent. When you're so invested into a book series that you really, really like, and being able to see that story brought to life on screen is an amazing experience to sit down and enjoy. And I'm also a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings trilogy as well. I have never read the books, but I do own the books. I just need to find the time to sit down and enjoy a good fantasy. But it's not much to say, but my experience with it has been very, very good. I've gotten to meet some amazing people, um, and it's just been amazing. So, not much, but yeah, I did have a lot. My experience with it has been very good. Um, my favorite number three favorite character. My favorite character, hands down, has been my favorite character for years, and that is Jacob. Now, I was never Team Jacob or Team Edward. Okay, scratch that. I was a team. I was always Team Edward, but Jacob was one of those characters that had so much character development. I almost kind of saw him that he was the one that Stephanie Meyer really wanted to develop a lot, because Jacob at the very beginning of Twilight is not the same character we see him in Breaking Dawn. He changed so drastically, but not so fast that it wasn't realistic. It was very, very together, and it was very well developed. He's the one that I really had a warm spot in my heart for him, just because of these struggles that he faced. He really did. He was in this position that there's not much of an easy answer here, and I just find his entire character to be really intriguing, and every time I watch the movies and reread the books, he's always that character that I get so excited to be able to every time he makes an appearance because I just really enjoy his character so much. Um, Number four, Team Edward or Team Jacob. Team Edward, of course, always. I've always been Team Edward. I love Edward and Bella together. They are my number one OTP. They will always be my number one OTP. I will never stop shipping them together ever. Number five, your favorite Cullen other than Edward. I think this one is going to go to Jasper because out of all the Cullens, he's the one that I felt that really had a tormented side. He was not used to the vegetarian lifestyle like everybody else, and he did, and we got to see his struggles through the series. I feel like by the time we get to Eclipse, and that's another reason why Eclipse is also my favorite book, is we get to see a lot of backstory on Jasper. I think his character is amazingly developed. Not as much as I would have liked, because when you have so many characters in these books, it's really hard to have the time. And yes, they are very large, but he was the one character that I found to be completely interesting. His backstory is really heartbreaking, but I just really had that spot in my heart for him, and I think Jackson Rathbone, who is the actor who plays him in the movies, did a fantastic job at playing Jasper. I think he did a better job in New Moon through Breaking Dawn Part 2. I wasn't a big fan of Jasper in the first movie, but given they did have such a small budget, so the first movie, I have a love-hate relationship with the first movie. I think it's amazing, but I also feel like it wasn't the best film of the franchise either. Um, Let's see, dude. Number six, favorite song from soundtrack or favorite soundtrack in general. My favorite soundtrack from the entire franchise is Never Think, which is a song that Robert Pattinson himself actually got to do for the movie. It is, if you're curious, this song plays in the background when Edward and Bella are in Port Angeles at that Italian cafe, where they're having that first exciting conversation again, and I love that song. I listen to it all the time. It's such a brilliant song. It's so beautiful as well, and Rob's voice is amazing. So that's my favorite. That's my overall. If I'm talking about what was my favorite soundtrack in general, I think New Moon had the best soundtrack of the entire franchise, in my opinion. I think it was just brilliant. It's completely phenomenal. It's probably one of the best soundtracks for any film I think I've ever heard, except for music from like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings and Outlander and Hunger Games and things like that. Um, Number seven, how often do you watch a Twilight movie? I probably binge watch all five movies probably at least every 3 months. Currently, I have the first movie in my Xbox currently, so I do have the first movie in there. I'm about halfway through it. Um, so so I probably binge watch all five movies about every 3-4 months. It's a franchise that I just can't seem to stop watching the movies. And then I'll go a really long time without having watched them, and then I'll watch them again, and I'm like, oh my god, why did I stop? So they're not guilty pleasures, but they're movies that I will religiously watch forever. Um, Number eight, would you rather be a vampire or a werewolf? A vampire. There's no downside to being a vampire at all. You will live forever. You're viewed by humans, at least, as one of the most beautiful creatures, beautiful people in the whole world. There's no downside. You can run incredibly fast. You're strong. There's no downside. And you're awesome. You can live whatever lifestyle you want, whether it's to drink from humans or to live the vegetarian lifestyle or to just travel the world. Normally, you could go steal money, so money wouldn't be an issue for you because you would run so fast that nobody would even see you, not even cameras. There's no downside. Not that I don't love my werewolves, but I love the vampires. I love the mysterious aspect of immortality. It's probably one of the biggest things that drew me to vampires in general. Even when I was reading um, Interview with the Vampire and watching Buffy, I just liked that aspect of immortality so much. Um, Number 9, what vampire power would you want? um, what vampire power would I want? I think I would like to have Bella's. Not to sound too cliche here, but I really like the idea that nobody can get inside my head. Like, it's still like all my thoughts are mine. Nobody else knows what I'm thinking. But if I think having Benjamin's abilities to be able to control the elements would be so awesome. Like, if a vampire is just pissing me off, I can throw a fireball at him and he's done. So that would be pretty cool. But if I had to pick at the end of the day, I would go with Bella's shield because her power is so kick-ass. Um, Number 10. Most embarrassing thing you did because of Twilight. Okay, so not here, but when I was still living in Oklahoma, my entire walls were covered in Twilight posters, movie posters, um, from all 5 movies, and I still have them to this day. I'll never get rid of them. um, I do have on this far wall that you can't see, I have a Supernatural poster, and then you can't see on this wall either, but I have a Fault in Our Stars movie poster and 2 Star Wars posters. I'm actually wearing a Star Wars t-shirt, but that's not really irrelevant. I just wanted to let you guys know. But yeah, that's probably the most embarrassing thing I ever did. I do have some Twilight merchandise, and I might do a whole video showing you guys the Twilight merchandise that I have. I think that'll be a really cool video to do. But yeah, that was probably the most embarrassing. So I wouldn't invite friends over because there's a lot of people hated Twilight, especially when the second movie hit theaters is when a lot of the controversy for the film started, and people were paying more attention to the books and kind of critiquing them, and don't really like them and things like that. But it was by far probably the most embarrassing thing I ever did as a Twilight fan. Number 11, a part that made you cry in the book and the movie. I'm guessing that just ranges. I think I go without saying that when Edward leaves Bella at the end of New Moon, that part gets me every time, and that's from the book as well as the movie. I think that's that one moment that just right in the heart, and it makes me cry like a fucking baby every time I read it and I watch it. And I think Kristen Stewart nailed that scene. It was probably one of the most important scenes I was most worried about when I saw the movie, so I was very, very happy with it, and I thought she did a great job with that scene because it was actually a scene that got leaked as well, so yeah, I thought it was, yeah, so that's the one for that one. And number 12, name all the movies from favorite to least favorite. I'm going to break this rule because I like all of them. But Eclipse would be number 1. So Eclipse, Breaking Dawn Part 1, Breaking Dawn Part 2, New Moon, and then Twilight. So, well, I guess I didn't break it. I just told you all of them. So that is the Twilight Tag. It's a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun to kind of look back on Twilight a little bit and kind of, be able to tell you a little bit of the experiences, because it's one of the most important things that that did happen to me. And while it's only about 14 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and show you the movies. So I do have them. So I have my original Twilight movie, Twilight, and then New Moon, and then Eclipse, and then Breaking Dawn Parts 1 and 2. And then for Christmas of last year, my brother completely surprised me and bought me Twilight Forever, the complete series that has all 5 movies in it, and it's got a ton of bonus features. A lot of those bonus features is already on the other ones, And that's Jacob, and then it just pulls out, and it's just really, really pretty. So yeah, that's this tag. If you are a fan of Twilight, I would recommend that you do this tag. Tag is not recommended for people who do not like Twilight, because you're not a fan, obviously. So thank you for watching, and I have another video coming up probably tomorrow, which is going to be a book review on something like Autumn, because I finally did finish it. So look for that coming within the next few days. And thank you for watching. And before I go, all my other Twilight related videos will be in the description. I have also created the Twilight Saga fandom fan community on Google+. So if you want to go and join, and we can discuss Twilight down there in the description on there as well. So feel free to do so if you want to. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.